17 atmospheric rivers over the past few months have pushed California's snowpack to potentially historic new records. Scientists measure the totals in what they call snow water equivalent. That's how much water all that snow will leave behind when it melts. Right now, the number is 235% of the average yearly total, according to the California Department of Water Resources. It surpassed the previous record set in the winter of 1982 and 83 at 234% of normal. Sugar Bowl Resort, northeast of Lake Tahoe, reported the highest snowpack total, 63 feet and 11 inches. They normally get around 25 feet per season. According to onthesnow.com, other resorts up in the Sierra Nevadas reported 46 feet or more of snow. For more, I'm joined by CBS News senior national and environmental correspondent Ben Tracy. So, Ben, what did we learn from this snowpack survey, and why is it so important?
Well, John, we learned that we have gotten an epic amount of snow here in California this winter. Some of these totals are just amazing. Some places in the state in the Sierra have received 800 inches of snow. That's like 66 feet of snow. It's just kind of crazy. And so they're basically saying this is either going to be the most or the second most snow that California has ever received in recorded history. They'll determine that in the next couple of days. The reason this April snowpack survey is so important is this is when the snowpack is typically at its deepest, the most amount of snow up in the Sierra. This is how the state decides how much water will eventually flow into reservoirs as it melts, and then how much water they then can allocate out to state water agencies around the state. So it's a critical measurement, and this year we are full up when it comes to snow.
So what comes full up is maybe going to come full down. What's the flooding risk from this?
Yeah, that is the downside of this. They're already dubbing this the big melt. So as temperatures increase here in California in the coming weeks and months, all this snow will start melting. Normally, that's a good thing. If it happens slowly, it kind of gradually fills up the reservoirs. The problem is there's so much snow up there that if we got a real warm spell and it kind of melted all at once, you could have massive flooding on top of some of the flooding that we've already seen here in California. You also have the issue that because we've had so much rain and snow, the reservoirs are already pretty full. So there's not a whole lot of space for that water to go into those reservoirs. So they're actually having to let some of the water out of the reservoirs, flush that down rivers. That just makes flooding worse as well.
And usually we have long conversations about California's drought. So how is this going to affect the state's drought in the past and future?
Yeah, this has been a real unexpected drought buster. I mean, back in October, 100% of California was in some stage of drought, and most of it was really bad drought. We're now down to 28% of the state is in drought, and the worst categories of drought have been eradicated. And, just anecdotally, here in Los Angeles, you look up at the Hollywood Hills and you think you're living in Ireland. I mean, it is so green, and we have been so used to everything being so brown and burnt out here. So this really has been great when it comes to busting the drought and refilling the water supplies here in California that we're at critically low levels. That doesn't mean we're out of the woods, because a lot of our water here in California comes from the Colorado River, and that system is still at critically low levels because these storms have not helped that water system as much as it's helped here in California.
All right, Ben Tracy, thank you so much, Ben.
Thanks, John.